These are easily some of the nicest plates I own, which is probably why you clicked this video. That bright, shiny chrome has you dreaming of driving your chrome car up to your chrome house to lift inside your decked-out chrome gym. But I had no intention of reviewing Kensui's calibrated chrome plates, say that 5 times fast, because they're too expensive. That's not to say you can't afford them. I mean, they're literally overpriced, and you can get the same plate for a lot less. And these are a much better deal. But you kept asking for this review, so here it is. Lesson number 1 on how to kill your own YouTube review career. Piss off the companies that send you things for free. So please subscribe and use my discount code and affiliate links while I've still got them. We've got quite a bit to cover in this one because Xmaster and Kensui sell these in a pound and kilogram version, and even in gold. I'm going to share some insight on white labeling, which is when someone manufactures a product and then other brands resell it. In this case, Xmaster makes these for Kensui. So when I talk about these, I'm lumping them all together. That one piece of information is something most reviewers aren't going to share because do you think Rep wants you to know you can buy an AB 3100 from someone else, potentially even a better model for less? Now, a lot of businesses white label. Solid Bar Fitness makes bars for dozens of companies. It's just that sharing that is a great way for someone like me to aggravate the companies I work with. And believe me, I just did. But I don't work for them, I work for my viewers, and that info allows you to cut out the middleman and save a good chunk of money. Now, this isn't me picking on Kensui. We've reviewed their Adjustabells, which are a pretty cool budget option for dumbbells, and we've got their Easy Vest, which I think is a clever take on a weight vest. And we've got a few of their other products, but these plates aren't something I'd recommend buying from them. From Xmaster, though, they're tempting. We also need to spend some time on how these are made because even though the quality of the plate is outstanding, that doesn't mean I'd recommend them to everyone. There's a few things I don't love about them, but I own quite a few sets of Calibrated and other chrome plates that I'm going to compare them to so you can decide which, if any, are right for you. Let's get the price out of the way at the start because it'll set up why I think the Xmasters are actually a pretty good deal for this quality of a plate. If you look at a pair of 45s from Kensui and then from Xmaster, you'd save over $50 by buying them directly from Xmaster. That's almost a 20% savings with code Gluck saving you 5% at Xmaster, and as you add plates, the difference gets more drastic. Now, there's nothing wrong with Kensui's plates. They're identical, and I actually like the curved wording better. But am I going to pay more for it? No. If we compare Xmasters to other calibrated plates, they're not the cheapest. That honor in both pounds and kilos belongs to Bells of Steel at the moment, with Titan Fitness following pretty closely behind. Those, as well as my other calibrated plates like Hansu's, are all great plates. And to be fair to Hansu, theirs are IPF certified. These aren't, but let's look at other high-end plates. If you're more of a fan of classic made in America iron, which I'll admit is my preference, Winnie actually picked these. I can't account for her taste. I mean, look who she married. Rogue's Deep Dish, Strength Co's plates, and Rep's iron equalizers are all made in the US and a little bit cheaper. That may not sound like it makes sense. American-made stuff is typically more expensive, but as you'll see in a minute, the manufacturing process to make these is much more involved, and it results in plates with perfectly consistent and smooth surfaces throughout, which helps with that mirror-like finish. Of course, we're doing a bit of an apples to oranges comparison, but I bring it up to show the quality level of Xmaster's plates. It is very difficult to find this quality at the prices Xmaster sells these for, and that's because you're buying directly from the manufacturer with Xmaster, whether you buy the pounds, kilos, chrome, or gold. When my wife decided she liked the Kensuis and wanted a full set, I jumped at the chance to put more equipment in my gym. If your bird-like brain calls to you like mine does when you see shiny things, or if you need lots of thin plates to load up the bar for your big lifts, these are exceptionally well made. They're CNC machined, which means rather than being cast, which is a formative process where molten metal is poured into a mold, and then after it cools, it may or may not go through a secondary process like CNC machining to produce even tighter tolerances or to clean it up. Rogue's Deep Dish are a great example of a cast and machined plate. They machine the back and outside of the plate, but leave the inside surfaces alone. That's less steps and less machining than Xmaster's plates, so they're a little cheaper to make. All of Xmaster's chrome plates are fully CNC'd on all sides, which results in consistent and tight tolerances throughout, versus a cast plate where you can see and feel the imperfections of the casting process. Now, there's nothing wrong with a cast plate. Your muscles won't know the difference between the two. But if you're trying to get your family to accept the fact that you make videos for a living instead of working a real job and helping with the family farm, well, these won't help with that either. They are premium steel plates though. Xmaster even machined a groove down the center and added a silicone band that helps you identify the weight. It's a pretty cool feature because while I loved my now discontinued Kensuis, it was tricky to tell what plate was what when you're swimming in a sea of chrome. If you're wondering why you'd bother getting something like these instead of the cheapest thing you can buy, well, there's a few reasons other than the most important one. They look cool. For one, they're calibrated. They weigh incredibly close to their stated weight. In this case, with Xmaster, each plate is within 30 grams. To put that in perspective, with the American plates I mentioned earlier, those all weigh within 2% of their stated weight. So for a 45-pound plate, that means they can be underweight or overweight by just over 400 grams or almost a pound. Technically, a true IPF certified calibrated plate is within 10 grams, but I honestly can't tell the difference, and I'm not getting these to compete. I'm getting them to flex on my neighbors. Of course, weighing a $160 plate with a $30 scale doesn't make much sense, but the plates are accurate. And anyone who's watched our bumper plates buyer guide, where we cut over a dozen different bumpers in half, knows there's vast quality differences between plates. So even if a plate says 45 pounds, it doesn't mean it is. They'll also fit on your bar better, and while I'm sure I don't have to tell you how important a tight hole is, you don't want a lot of slop or play in your plates when they're on the bar. Also, because they're machined from steel, they're very thin, so you can stack a lot of them on a bar. If you compare that to bumpers or thick plates in general, you'll be able to put a lot more weight on, and the bar will have less whip, meaning it'll flex less during lifts because the weights will be closer towards you rather than pushed way out towards the end. Not only that, the machining is very well done and it results in a very high build quality. They even rounded and chamfered all the edges, so you're not dealing with any sharp edges. You're left with a smooth, shiny, and gorgeous plate. That does mean they can be a little tougher to grip. We've never dropped them, but you do have to be a little more careful with them, and we're in a climate-controlled space. If you're not a spoiled, whiny YouTuber and you're in a humid climate, you may want to consider the chrome grip plates. They're very easy to grip and move around because of the handle, and they're basically the same thing. Still incredibly thin and have the same finish. The finish, though, is probably what draws you in. What could be more American than lifting in your home gym using imported plates? The finish on these is outstanding because Xmaster is building up a thick coating with their combination of zinc, nickel, hard chrome, and then a bright chrome. We've had these plates for 6 months and they've been our daily drivers since we got them in. We've deadlifted with them countless times. They've been smashed onto the floor during rows, and my son is just as enamored by them as we are and takes every chance he can get to throw them on the floor. Through all that though, they've held up great. Sure, I've got some strips where the writing has worn off from other plates smashing into them. There's some nicks and scuffs because we beat on these things, and of course some fingerprints because I never clean them, but they've held up surprisingly well and the finish has proven to be very durable. Yes, eventually they'll wear down more and lose some of that shimmer, but we do not baby them. However, all finishes that are put on a metal plate will wear. My Strength Co plates, Rogue's Deep Dish, and every single plate I own that isn't a bumper plate, and even some of them show wear. If that chrome is still calling to you, these are a great high quality option, and by buying directly from the manufacturer, you're getting the cheapest possible price, especially with code Gluck saving you 5% at Xmaster. Let me know what you think. Are these something you'd pick up? Are there other cool plates you want us to review? Thanks to our Patreons, and thanks for watching.